Hello and welcome to Minecraft Castle Tips and Tricks, where I'll give you tips and their historical reasons to build better castles. Let's get into the video. So here we're building out the base of the wall. We will be putting the gatehouse up on the wall because I always start with my gatehouse first. Here we can see we're starting on the gatehouse, making the room for it. As you can see here, I'm starting on the second part of the gatehouse. Extending it out a little bit. Nothing here is permanent right now because I didn't have a plan before I started the castle. All this build out plan. So you're gonna see lots of the castle change, and that's okay. Castle's about changing it to fit your design and what you want. Here I'm working on the cornels. You got one thing I always stress enough, more than even the gatehouse, is you got to get the cornels perfect. The cornels are those bits that jut up and down on the castle. If they don't look correct, your castle doesn't look correct. The entire thing looks off. So I work a lot on the cornels to get them looking good. I added some articulations on the cornels as well. Articulations will look like, and they are basically also known as mortar holes. They are little holes so you can drop blocks through, that you can shoot arrows through. They help the defense of the castle a lot. I put them on everything because I like the look of them. They add a lot of depth and complexity to your build. I recommend putting these on your tower, your gatehouse, maybe your keep, but don't put the same pattern everywhere. Even if all your cornels have articulations, don't use the same pattern cornels. That's a mistake I made on this castle. It will change later. It makes the castle look a little bit too monotonous. Makes it look all the same, and you don't want your castle to look the same everywhere. Castles historically look similar everywhere because they are fortifications, but they do have slight differences. Even on the same castle, the wall might look different than the tower or the gatehouse or the keep, and that's something you can actually see on my castle. Something I didn't do on my castle was make it variable enough. A lot of castles adapted the wall height and the tower height to the terrain, so the wall would dip, and not to mention that they'd also be more circular, they'd be more rounded. Most of them weren't perfect squares. The keeps were perfect squares, but the wall structure, the wall that surrounded the keep themselves, were not perfect squares. They were often bent around the hill to where it was most defensible, and I didn't do that. My castle is a perfect square. You can change it up, or you can't. But you can see I'm working on the third wall now. You do want to keep the castle looking fresh. So you'll see my castle by the end will look way more fresh on each wall, each tower. It'll look different on different sections. The walls look different from each other. The keep is different from the towers. The gatehouses always gonna look different just because of this unique shape. But right now, everything's very samey, and that's okay. We're starting out on a rough basis. I was starting without a plan. Here we can see I actually put a tower in the middle of my wall. Why would I do that? What was the point? Well, in the castles, towers didn't just go on your corners. They went anywhere they could go, basically. They put them on curbs around the hills. They put them on anywhere where there was a blind spot. So if there wasn't a tower within range, they put a tower there to keep an overlap in kill floor. Basically, you want to overlap in kill floor, and that's why I put a tower there. I thought that wall looked big, and it would be a big wall with nothing to break it up, so I put a tower there. Here I'm starting on the keep. I added some campfires to the gatehouse, and later campfires we've seen everywhere. The keep is vital. The keep, I mean, all parts of the castle come together to be kind of vital. Castles have a very iconic look, but if I would choose the three most vital bits, it'd be the towers, the gatehouse, and the keep. The keep is vital because it is the last bastion. If your walls fall, then you only have the keep left. The keep was the last defensive part of the castle. On top of that, the keep would be where would be big. It'd be where they kept all the people, all the rooms for the people, a lord or a king. It'd be where they kept the supplies. It'd be where they kept everything. And so the keep was always very big. Actually, it's usually taller than the walls themselves, and even the towers. You can see this in a lot of reference images. Here, I'm building a little house thing on top of the keep. I don't know how historical that is, but my thought process went, soldiers need to get from the bottom floor of the keep to the top, and instead of having a hole where a staircase would be, I put this house, and then they connect it to a door to get to the defensive positions. Here, finishing up the house with the house thing. I don't have a name for it. With a classic A-frame roof with a little bit of a whatever that's called. Here, I built some corners on the keep. Most keeps had towers on the corner and on the corners, and I put those there, just as a little. It wakes up the keep a little bit. It makes it less of a square, and it looks strong and independent. It's something you want with your castles. Your castles to look strong. Here, I'm adding quenelles to the keep. I think the quenelles will change. On the walls in the keep, the quenelles will be different, just so it makes it less monotonous. I always said that though. There also will not be articulations anymore. I'm sorry to all my friends who also love articulations. We get a good 360 to keep, so you can see what it looks like on all sides. Get a good view of it. And from here, I start building a small stable. My thought process was, hey, knights and kings and whatever needed horses to move around because it was medieval ages. So I put a stable in. There it is. I think the stable turned out great. It has, 3 horses at a time, so it's a very small stable. Probably not even big enough for this castle. But my thought process was, there it is. I also put campfires on every tower, mainly because I didn't want to build a flag. I can't build flags. I'm sorry to all my flag builders, I can't build flags. So no flags today. Just campfires. Lots of campfires. Too many campfires actually. You could find tidy Girl Scouts that I'm out with campfires. Here I'm using a gradient. I put tough bricks at the bottom. I'm missing some mossy bricks, normal bricks, to make a small gradient. You can see it here. I think it looked good. Here I add on some arrow slits, and I changed up the look of the quenelles of the wall a little bit. None of this is final. It will all change, except for the arrow slits. The arrow slits will look the same. Here, as you can see, I promised I changed up the quenelles. Here, I'm changing up the look of the wall. It's not final yet. I changed it up a little bit more after this. But you can see the archways, those will stay. I thought the archways looked good. So, you can see, we're doing the wall, but I added back the archways. I think the archways look good. I also redid the quenelles. I think they look better now. Here we go. Here's the second part. You can actually see I get a wall view here. The reason for this is I put trapdoors. Those little trapdoors give you a little bit more height to shoot over the wall. There we go. Here's another wall for you. And each wall is actually different lengths, which means I can change the pattern of my arches. This one's different from the front. You actually see the two on either side are larger. And that's because each wall is a different length, meaning you have to change the pattern I use. It adds a lot of variation to the walls. I love the look of this castle by the end. And you see, doing that, and you might be wondering, what's this last little bit for? Well, actually, you see I come back to try and add in arrow slits. And here's the arrow slits. There they are now. And here, you can see I'm working on the back right wall. It's actually not finished yet. I know it looks finished, but it's not finished. Because I actually come up with a better design for the back walls. Here it is. And now my castle is finished. I loved how it turned out. I love the look of the castle. I think the look is exactly what I was going for. I did change up a little bit off camera. I added some leaves for contrast. I added in a great house, and I changed the top of the walls from brick to wood for that little bit extra contrast with the birch. I love the look of the castle by the end. It's not my best castle ever, but I built it in a day for this video. I didn't have a live stream of in my other castles. Not a live stream. I didn't have a 3D drone shot, I guess, of my other castles. Love how it turned out. Yes, to anyone who's watched me a year ago, I'm sorry for disappearing. I know I kind of vanished on everyone, and I'm sorry for that. I'm back now, and I plan on uploading every week, at minimum, once every month. I do plan on uploading more consistently though. Until my next upload though, I hope you enjoy this. If you can get the video to 15 likes, I will do I'll build another castle, and I'll do an interior tutorial, tips and tricks on how to build castle interiors, because they are big and they are daunting, and I understand that. Until then, with 15 likes, remember, I present to you my finished castle. Have fun.